Hey guys, so sorry that I've not been posting anything recently. I've been preparing to go back to the Philippines, so I'm back. So I'm gonna be here for a whole month. I actually wasn't planning on posting really anything anytime soon. I'm actually here in this condo that I'm renting, trying to figure out a business, so trying to gain connections and make friendships with people. So I'm not, out dating, women. I'm actually trying to figure out how I can make some money and possibly live here. So that's actually my goal. I really love this country. I love Filipinos. I actually wanted to make this video because I found out Legion of Men, which thank you so much for roasting me. It was hilarious, and I've actually watched the whole thing. Whoever submitted this video to him, thank you so much. Thank you for all the subscriptions. I have literally no idea what I'm doing. I'm just a guy that bought a camera and wanting to share my experiences and trying to let other foreigners know what it's actually like to date in the Philippines. I'm trying to show people, what it's really like to date them and to break the illusion of it. Honestly, Legion of Men, I really respect him. I agree with a lot that he says, but he kind of is really reductionist sometimes, and it's not as black and white as I see things. But nonetheless, I really respect him. I really love his channel. I'm so appreciative of you roasting me. So thank you so much. So this is me watching this video a second time, and I want to kind of set the record straight on a couple things. That video that I posted, I don't regret it, but I realized that I probably took out too much fat. I got my laptop and we're just gonna go ahead and watch this.
It says my Filipina ex acted single. He ended it, but now she pretends we're still engaged. Why? This is the one it is. I'm telling you, guys are so starved for intimacy, attention, and the number one danger when you go overseas now is that these women are actually feminine, or they know how to play the soft power game a feminine woman knows. That's basically lost on Western women. Guys don't know how easy it is for women to manipulate them by whispering that soft, sweet nothing into your ear, giving you a little shoulder, a little back rub, telling you everything you want to hear, opening up the clam for you, and you literally think oh my god, this is so different. I found something so special, my little unicorn out here in Southeast Asia, and then you're absolutely wrecked like this guy did. This comes from the fact that you're rushing through the process and you're not vetting her. This is crazy. What's the timeline here? You met online, and then you just you did a speed run through the entire process of meeting family, not knowing what she's like over months, over at least 1 year, dude. Let the freaking butterfly effect in your stomach go away. Once the infatuation phase ends, that lust phase, honeymoon phase as they call it, then you get to really see what a person's really like. Because right now everybody's operating in the very beginning of every relationship on these butterflies, everything's great, there's not really problems, you overlook red flags, I could deal with that, until you start to become more accustomed to the person you're with, and the excitement level drops, and now you enter into a new normalcy. Life's pretty cool, and those little things you used to let go, you can't let go anymore. The little arguments you're having now, they tend to linger more and bother you more. Then all of a sudden, from a woman's point of view, this stuff is her just pulling back and absolutely taking you to the cleaners, because that's just how society's built.
So, okay, what he's actually saying is actually really solid advice. Basically what it is that they have an idea in their heads what the relationship is, and they're thinking too far ahead, living in that fantasy of its potential versus actually what the relationship is. So that's in essence what I take from his advice right there. It doesn't apply exactly to this. So he's making assumptions that I only met her online first and that I just jumped the gun on it. So he doesn't know. More than 2 years I've been in the Philippines. We'll just go on a lot of dinner dates. I've gone through a whole lot of women to finally settle on this girl. So what I do is I do a number of things. So I just naturally meet women, whether that's in a store or on the street or using a dating app. So for this case, I just wanted to be honest and say that through a dating app, while I was in the Philippines, I found this girl, and instead of talking to her online, I just wanted to see for myself if this girl was real, if she was a catfish or not. And to me, it's no problem at all to get on my motorbike and actually just drive to see her. I packed 3 days worth because I didn't know, what was gonna happen. I wasn't expecting really anything, but it turned out to be really nice. And I actually stayed with her family for the rest of the 3 weeks that I was in the Philippines. I don't really regret that at all. And I think there's something else also that he's missing that I think applies universally, is that when you marry a woman, or at least when you're considering marrying a woman, you can't just think about her. She's not just some singular person that you are going to be with for the rest of her life. Especially when it comes to the Philippines. When you marry her, you also marry her family. She had a really good family. She also was very classy, very traditional. She wasn't spreading her legs open for me. In fact, that's actually what I would eliminate. All these girls that were sexually promiscuous, I would drop them really, really fast. And when it came down to this girl, she was just very classy, very elegant. She's just not that kind of girl that he thinks she is. And when she has a really good family, he thinks that I'm rushing it. But the opposite is true, is that I'm really wanting to invest my time getting to know this person. And he thinks that I got engaged to her days later. But we're talking I didn't say this, but a course of a year. And on top of it, we still have to do the fiancé visa. That's also another 12 months. So I already knew this thinking ahead and trying to be efficient and trying to plan on when I can take her to the States. It wasn't that I was just like completely googly eyes for her. It was just that I thought what she had was of real value. And so that was something that I was really wanting to make an investment on her. I'm not talking about money, I'm just talking about emotional investment.
Oh my God, bro. You overlook the fact that she's addicted to social media, eternally online, and every time you guys are doing shit together, she treats you like the fucking dude who funds all the projects. Tag the sponsors, ladies. Come on. Jesus Christ. I know you're out here pimping these Western Sims, but at least tag them. Don't make the game so goddamn obvious. Well, I guess you can make the game obvious because the Western Sims have no idea what the hell's happening. No offense to this dude, bro. Obviously, you were like, the clammy opened up, you went blind. The dude forgot all the red pill manosphere channels. I tell you this shit all the time. I saw it with my own eyes in Thailand. You know, it's like a puppy, a deer in headlights, drooling and shit from their mouth because damn, the clammy feels nice and you're not getting much of anything in the West. You protect your meat, boys. Be careful. Okay, nowhere is the promised land. There's no magic soil. You have to do the due diligence, bro. Yes, does it help to go overseas? Tremendously so. I would never date. If I were single and I had to go back to the United States single, I would not waste time dating. I would save up money, go travel overseas, meet a woman overseas, or if there's foreign women in the United States. That's it. That's all I would date. I'm not dating any woman with a modern woman mentality in a gynocentric society that hates men. I understand. But I'm also not an idiot. If I go overseas, the software might be on a different version, but the updates are still coming down the pipeline. Just because you found woman software modern V2 and we're in V6 in America doesn't mean her updates aren't coming. And if your chick's already on social media, red flagging it, not even tagging you, acting like you're the sponsorship, bro, you got the V5 update we all do over here in the United States. Come on, G. But the clammy opens. She's doing the glot bot right now. You fucking short circuit.
Yeah, so yeah, it's really funny. Like, actually, I'm not like that. That's actually really funny. Yeah, that's not what happened, but I appreciate the humor. But yeah, so I think what's really hard is something that's I have a question for him. So I will agree that her not tagging me in photos and cutting me out, that was something that I saw really, really early. And for me, I realized later that is something that I shouldn't have tolerated, even though I did. And the reason why I decided, I admit this is wrong thinking, women don't want to be embarrassed. And so if you're with a guy, there's a lot of assumptions that the locals make. And so they sometimes want to be private with you first because they don't want anything to blow back in their face. Like they don't want, to be made fun of or ridiculed by people that they live with. When she was cutting me out of those photos, yes, that happened really early, but it's not uncommon. Something that I've learned is that Filipinos, they're really addicted to social media. And so I guess my question for him is, so if you were to eliminate all women that are glued to their phone, how many women are you left with? From my understanding, with my experience traveling, what girl isn't addicted to social media? What girl isn't on her phone? It's universal. All you're left with is trying to search for coconut trees to see if there's a girl up there. You don't have a lot of options. So you just kind of have to choose your battles.
I don't want the person that gave those experiences to her. And she did started posting about us because I shared those concerns with her. And if you looked at TikTok, you'd think that we had this beautiful romantic relationship, the perfect couple. And that's probably what she wanted people to see. But
there's a great warning on what not to do and what to look at.
Behind closed doors, it was different. She was dry, distant, disconnected. The affection she showed me online was just not real. It wasn't how she actually treated me. It was just how she wanted people to think she treated me. She was not really building a relationship. She was building a fantasy. But then there were these solo pictures, the ones that I just wasn't comfortable with. I got no problem at all with a woman wanting to feel confident in herself.
Oh gosh, bro, you see this shit? He's got the feminine rhetoric built into him. I have no problem. The ally speak. I am a strong, independent, confident man. I have no problem if my woman's whoring herself out on social media, tits out, ass out. We're engaged. I have no problem. Sorry, my G. I don't mean to go hard on you. This is just men in general.
So the solo photos that she did, they weren't her tits are out or her ass is out. I think the problem is that he's coming from a Western mentality that when every girl is doing that. She was just wearing beautiful, elegant dresses and taking photos of herself and being really aesthetic with it. That was the problem, is that she's looking single, but it's not like she was having her tits out or anything like that. She just wasn't that type of girl. It was just that my question for her was, who were these photos for? And in a sense, I could see that they were kind of for herself because she felt really good, she felt really pretty. So that's kind of what I mean by that. And you can, just judge me and think whatever you want of me, but for him to think that, she had her ass out or something like that, that's not typical Filipino. That's just not it. Maybe girls in Manila, but I'm talking about girls in the province. They're very shy. They're not, women that will want to go out in their bikini. They're very modest, and this girl is very modest in a sense. She wore these beautiful, beautiful dresses. I really was attracted to that. It was something that I could see that she did on her own before she met me, and I had to pick my battle because now I'm entering her life, and now I just have to you can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And so I just did not want to be that kind of person. I eventually needed to be because, okay, now things are getting serious. You need to stop doing that. You know, you're my girlfriend. But at first, I was really trying to get to know her first before I made any assumptions or I barked orders at her. I really wanted to understand her behavior and understand where it was coming from before I made any judgments or barked any orders at her.
Maybe you got all the excuses for her and she really just doesn't give a fuck about you. How about that, dude? Dude, this performative love that men have to do in the West just to get a woman's attention, love, adoration, respect is so fucking... I want to wring it out of all of you motherfuckers because it's what's destroying your relationships. You do not get rewarded by acting like a good little boy, getting pats on the head. Maybe if I give her more love, more intimacy, more gifts, be a good little boy and do everything she says, that she'll turn around and love me one day. It doesn't work that way. You have to be independent. You have to have your own boundaries, your own rules, your own identity. If she steps over the boundary, you don't let it slide and then offer a fucking ring after that. What you do is you walk away. Goodbye, bitch. Later. You don't respect me. You can't even talk to my dude. I'm so shocked the amount of red flags. What in the world?
I couldn't ignore it.
This is actually kind of perfect. Ironically, I'm going to do a video on cheating, how to know your girl's cheating. Your wife is cheating or your girlfriend doesn't matter, or that she's not interested, she's about to leapfrog to another guy branch swing. It's on the second channel, watch it, it's going to be a doozy.
I didn't text.
Yeah, okay, so, you know, he does have a point. I didn't say everything quite accurately or as clear as I needed to. When she was posting photos of herself and being solo like that was at the beginning of our relationship. Then what happened was I expressed, hey, you got to stop doing that. Like, you're not single anymore. You're representing me. And so I had that heart to heart with her. And I told her, if she's not going to do that for me, then I'm just going to have to walk away. And so what happened was it seemed like she changed her tune and she changed her whole Facebook to make it all about us and stuff like that. And we were having a really good relationship still. So she was actually including me on things. She was posting things with me later. She was being appreciative of the times that we had together, but secretly she would have another account and she was still, you know, aesthetically posting photos of herself at like the top of the stairs with her dress on and stuff like that. And she just has like in her head that she's like Miss Philippines or something. And, you know, I'm not trying to knock her down. She's beautiful, but she's 23, turning 24. In my view, she shouldn't be thinking that way. And she was secretly posting on a different account of her doing these things, and I had no awareness of it. So what she was showing me on the surface and how we were actually in person, and like I said, I was with her, and it wasn't like I was just online. I was with this girl, and we had a really nice dynamic, and things were going really, really well. But she was doing things secretly behind my back because she didn't want to let go of her looking like a model and stuff like that. I don't know any Filipina that doesn't do this. A lot of Filipinas are going to lie to you. And so you have to, well, one, find out what they're lying about, and two, you have to see if it's actually worth the battle. Because sometimes they'll just lie about going to a store, and you're just like, why did you even lie about that, right? So you have to pick your battles. For me, that was a really big one, but I had no idea that she was still posting these solo photos, and I would just kind of see it online. Like an account would get recommended to me, and I would just actually find out that she had it. And then that's when I was like confronting her, and I was just like, hey, you gotta knock this off. She's like, I'm sorry. And that's where it started getting like really, really, really old. And that was during our engagement. So I just want to make that very, very clear.
You're trying to buy her love. You need to come look at it with me, or I will send you money. Well, bro, what do you think she's gonna do? Okay, you fucking moron. I'll just talk to you so you can shut the fuck up and send me the money. We live in two opposite sides of the world. Oh my God. What?
It's myself. If she fails to do this, I was done saying.
So, okay, so let me clarify on me giving her money. I never once gave her money when we were boyfriend, girlfriend. When I got engaged to her, and this engagement only lasted a few months, like 3 months, so it wasn't a long time. I sat down with her and I said, look, I noticed that you're, you know, doing makeup for girls and you're not really making a lot of money from that. And I can tell that you're really stressed out. And there was even one time that a girl was supposed to give her money, but then she bailed. So I just told her, how about, you know, the money that you would make normally doing makeup, how about I just take care of that? And it wasn't much. We're not talking about like hundreds of dollars. I have been dating for about 2 years, so I know what it's like to live in the Philippines. I know how much things cost. And I sat down with her and I said, let's think about all the expenses that you need, and let's think about how much things reasonably cost for you and how much I should give you per week so you're not stressed out about it. And you can choose to do makeup and make some money on the side, but at least you have like the steady amount of money where you're not stressing out about fare or lunches. She agreed. That was where I think I should have maybe clarified in the video, because it makes me look like I just gave her tons and tons of money and I didn't know what I was doing. No, I was giving her money even though I was there. So it wasn't like I was on the other side of the world. I was actually there. And so that's what I did. And you can decide if that's wrong or not. But to me, someone who really just wants her to finish school so she can actually do really good for herself and make a living. Like, I'm not trying to be controlling. I want her to finish her school, that she had a year to go. And I wanted her to be successful. But I also wanted to make sure that she was still being herself while being married to me. So I didn't want her to stay at home and be the submissive housewife and just make babies for me. Like, no, I respected her dreams, and she had just a little bit further to go, and she was struggling on doing makeup for people. She never once asked me for money at the beginning. I was the one that initiated it. That's why I'm not losing sleep over this. And just to add, that ring I got for a really, really, really good deal. I'm not worried about losing that ring. What happened was, when we were engaged and I was starting to give that money, she was doing fine at first, but then it became this thing where I think she was starting to like it a little too much. She was starting to kick back and get a little too lazy. So, at first, oh, I broke out. Okay, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm using like the family's soap. And I'm thinking, no, you should not use the same bar of soap that your brother washes his ass with. So I gave her extra couple hundred pesos so she can actually like take care of herself and that she's not stressing out about it. But what was happening was, she then started becoming too dependent on that money. And then she decided to not do makeup for a girl. She was spending her money too fast. I think also she was really addicted to buying clothes. So she was really into going to vintage shops and buying clothes. So she would just choose not to eat, and she even admitted this, and just go and buy these clothes. In hindsight, I just didn't realize that I was creating a monster. And it sucks because they're not making a lot in her area, and I wanted to at least give just a little bit, but I didn't realize that how quickly that could get abused. And so that was a big lesson for me with money. Even though we're engaged, she's got to take care of herself, and I can't be her savior for everything. I think I need to really pull back and really like observe how a woman spends her money, because if she doesn't know how to spend her money wisely, she's going to still find herself in the same situation even if she had money. But for her, she's never seen that money come so easily. So to me, it was small. To her, it was big. That's just something that I really learned the hard way. She was just coming back for more and more, and she was neglecting the relationship, and she was more focused on the dependence of it. And that was just something that I learned from this relationship. I've been with her. Like, I've actually driven her to school. Like, I've actually seen what it's like for her in her hometown. There's no water, and so they have to use these giant barrels that they have to buy from usually like one Filipino that has access to a well, or they have to go get water from somewhere else. And then there'd be like no like stable connection to internet, and there would be no electricity. Like, we're talking like deep province in the mountains kind of thing. And I was there. Like, I saw what her life was like, and I saw opportunities that I thought I could help. So I would see, oh, she's spending, easily 70 pesos on fare just to ride a, mini taxi to get to her school. Well, the times that I was there, and I would just take her, and then that just eliminated, cost for her. But then I was calculating the cost in my mind, and then when I sat her down, I was just like, look, okay, it costs you 70 pesos per day or something like that. I knew in and out her whole life, her family were really good. They never once asked me for money. I really loved her brothers. I really cared about her, and I was really invested in her, not just financially, but emotionally. I knew who she was aside from her social media presence. This was a girl that was trying to make herself seem bigger than she was. And she really was addicted to validation from others rather than just getting validation from me. I think that's really what this was, and that was the huge problem. She's got these outfits that I've never seen before, which to me makes sense why she says that I was starving her when it wasn't true. She was probably skipping meals and then going and buying herself more outfits. I can't confirm if that's true or not, but she has admitted that she will skip meals. And I think that's just like because she's watching her figure, or she's also tight on money, or a mix of both. But I don't think she just was spending her money wisely, and she was wanting to look beautiful. But the ring, that was like a big, big concern, because I wanted her to wear that ring. And I just, honestly, this was a bad thing for myself. I just did not care about how beautiful she was. I cared more about other things. So when she was just posting things about herself myself, whatever. There's another photo of her just looking gorgeous. I don't really care. Like, I wasn't simping for her. I just was like, okay, whatever. She makes herself feel beautiful, whatever. I just wasn't looking at her finger. So when she's with me, she's wearing the ring. But when she's not with me or taking photos, she's not wearing the ring. So you're just like, what the frick? So I wasn't aware that she was doing that until this field trip. So when I confronted her, then cut her off her money, that's when things were starting to fall apart. She didn't even tell me that she was dropping out of school completely. She was telling me that she was gonna go to this other city to be a call center agent. And it just like really broke my heart because I was trying to be there for her so she can finish her school. And she was so freaking close to finishing school. And I really think, I don't know if she's back in school or not, but I think it's just a huge mistake for her because she was on a scholarship. She is academically smart. And for her to throw that away for some stupid beauty pageant and to reduce herself to her beauty and to go be a call center agent where a bunch of Westerners are screaming in her ear, to me, that's just the real tragedy, is that if she was taking advantage of me, I felt the weight of what it really would mean for me to cut her off. And I felt the weight even harder when I found out that she was dropping out of school and changing her life completely, all because she just didn't know how to take care of herself. And that was a dynamic that really, really hurts me still to this day, that I just don't think she understood how much I really wanted her to finish school. That she had this huge opportunity to go to the US. She was studying to be an engineer, and just the fact that she could have made so much more money instead of trying to, like squeeze tens of dollars out of me, she could have made tens of thousands of dollars easily. That was like the thing that was really hard, is that when you're dating a Filipina and you're a foreigner, they only know their lives. They only know their bubble. And so when you're coming into their space, they just can't fathom what life could be like outside of what they normally see. And that is like something that's really, really hard for them to understand. It's almost like describing a new color to someone that they've never seen that color before. Like they just don't get it. And I think honestly, something that I thought was a year was enough. I think learning my lesson, I need to take a lot longer to develop a relationship with a Filipina, because I was assuming that she knew things that I knew. And I think honestly, she just wasn't quite at the level that I thought she was. And I think I incorrectly put something on the relationship that just didn't need to be there yet. And if I could go back, I would really just take my time and just really soak in the boyfriend and girlfriend thing, like he said. But I think honestly, when it comes to entering each other's worlds, especially when you come from a different part of the world, you have to really get to know each other. You have to really understand things. And yes, it does come down to money, but there's men online that are simping and they're asking for nudes and they're spending hundreds of dollars on a girl. This wasn't a girl that was like that. This was a girl that was really wanting to focus on school, and she happened to be really beautiful, and she never got, I think I might have been her first true boyfriend. And I think that expectation on her was too much, and she started taking advantage of my kindness, and she started falling apart when I cut her off. And it's really sad. And if I could go back, I think I would have gone even more slowly than I thought was the appropriate amount of time.
Hey, that's a positive way to look at it, I guess. Hey, learn from your mistakes. Don't dwell on it. You could have ended up being way worse off if, finding yourself at the bottom of a bottle trying to drink your problems away, or drugs or some shit like that. He's very positive and he's sharing, and that's good. What can you say?
So this is really good. I'm glad that at the end he sees that, he agrees that it's good to look at the positives, but I just wanted to clarify some things. And again, I seriously thank you guys so much for the subscriptions. Thank you so much for submitting this to Legion. Thank you so much for Legion to react to this. And yeah, just go ahead and follow me. I'm just a guy that doesn't know what he's doing, and I'm learning as I go. And so you can laugh at me along the way. So again, thank you.
You went through. And there you go. His name is Jake. That's it. No last name, nothing. Just Jake. 700 subs. Show him some love. Links will be in the description at the bottom. It says OG video. Help my mans.